Good evening, and it's Wednesday. We're here at Walk-Ons, and we still got football action going on here in Texarkana. We've got Texas High and Pleasant Grove still in the playoffs, and tonight it's going to be all about Texas High. Billy, the game last week, a big win for Texas High. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Big win. You know, we had a really, really raucous crowd at Texas High, a lot of fireworks, a lot of pregame stuff, and what you always worry about is all of that stuff kind of bleeding over and you not being ready. But Texas High came out, you know, and set precedents early and got off to a good start and played really, really disciplined football last week and got out of there with a convincing win, 42-14. Houston Fulshire came back and tied it up in the third quarter and kind of woke them up in the second half. But when they did, Texas High went on a spread of I think scoring 21 straight and never looked back. But same thing at dang defense, man. Defense, set the precedent, and that's what wins in the playoffs. Offenses continue to get better every week, but defense just keeps showing up, and that's a big deal. And having a running game. Last year Texas High had a really, really good team and went into the playoffs, and the running game was hurt, and it just looks like we've got all of our main cog, all our pieces together, and we didn't need Brayson last week, and Brayson's not that guy to say, hey, I got to run out and I've got to have 200 yards, I got to have 300 yards. He's going to do what he's coached to do, and like a good headsy quarterback does, and that's what he did last week when they didn't need him. He handed the ball off to Braylon.
Yeah, and so. Two things that you hit on right there. I want to start off first. You talked about the fireworks, the smoke, the everything. You're in charge of that stuff.
That's my job.
Yeah.
That's my job. So we win that every week.
Yeah.
We're undefeated there every week too. So and two, you got halftime with our great band and high steppers and what the cheerleaders do. It's so good to get that home playoff game, and it's the district that we match up with from Houston or from down around that way, they have to come a long ways. And when they get off the bus and find out that there's fireworks popping and all that other stuff, that's before Texas High starts hitting them and they're seeing fireworks. But,
that's right.
But no, it was a really good game, and Texas High came out and showed dominance and exactly what they need to do. But I'm telling you, we're playing Texas City this week, and Texas City, they're a really, really well-coached, really, really good football team, got a lot of really good players, and they're a tough team, and it will be a tough out.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Coach Stanford says that Texas City looks a lot like looking in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a lot, they're a very good team, and they're kind of match up really, really good with Texas High. Billy, I know you're at every single game.
Mm-hmm.
There's not very many presidents that are as active as you are, and
Mm-hmm.
I see that pouring into these kids. You sat there, I saw you get it. Texas High T put in the back of your head, man, to get these kids a little more fired up.
Well, here's the thing is I don't want the attention, but I want to do something for them. It's not about the TikToks and things like that, but if that gets them going, it's something that they'll remember, and one of the good parts about Texarkana Gameday is that's what Texarkana Gameday does, is it provides them, a deal to say, hey, look what I did. Look at me. I'm on TV, and so, Texarkana Gameday provides them that avenue, and what Coach Stanford wants is for them to get that next 4 years, and not everybody's going to go on and play football, but if they're able to get seen and things like that, and Coach Jordan and the staff at Texas High does a really, really good job of getting those players seen as well. And who knows, they may be sending them some of Game Day's footage.
Yeah, we hope so.
So this week, Texas High plays Texas City.
Mm-hmm.
It's the battle of the Texas teams.
That's right.
In Texas.
They're orange too.
And so, really? Yeah. Okay. And so everybody's dying to know, when you go and you play in a neutral site like it's going to happen this week, do you get to take the smoke?
Oh, absolutely.
No fireworks.
Absolutely.
But you get to take the smoke, right?
I'm not saying there won't be fireworks.
Okay. A little cliffhanger there.
I'm just saying we may wait till the first quarter to release them.
Okay.
Will the train horn be there?
The train horn will be
train
there.
horn and fireworks.
Yeah. We don't want to give out everything.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Because Texas City's watching this.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't want them to go borrow somebody's smoke or anything.
That's
but
right.
But
That's
Texas
right.
High is going to bring the smoke.
I heard that Texas City don't want the smoke. So that's just what I hear.
That's what I hear now.
Well, look, we're talking about Texas High a lot. We want to hit briefly. We got another Texarkana team that's still in the playoffs. Pleasant Grove coming up with a big win this last week. Who do they play this week?
Pleasant Grove is going to go down and play Glen Rose, I believe, and it's going to be a little rematch, a little revenge game. Pleasant Grove may able to get it back in 2007. Glen Rose knocked PG out of the playoffs on probably a state championship caliber football team. So
okay,
it's going to be a nice little.
Do we know where it's being played at?
It's played at the Star.
Yeah.
At the Star, that's right.
2:30 on Saturday. So what you can do is you can go to the Texas High game in Lufkin at 7:30 on Friday night. Head down to the Big D, stay there, get you some Christmas presents early that morning, and go watch Pleasant Grove beat up on Glen Rose.
That sounds like you're playing, Billy.
A lot of shopping, a lot of money going to be spent. So
That's right.
all the husbands that are watching this don't want to make that trip to Dallas because they know it's going to cost them a lot of money. And so, man, what a time it is to be in Texarkana.
Oh, yeah.
Every sports season. I mean, we had baseball teams that went deep into the playoffs, one that won a state championship. I mean, we're just how blessed we are to have multiple schools here in Texarkana, and now we're in football season, and we still got two teams that are battling it out.
Listen, there's no doubt about that Texarkana has a bunch of great athletes, but still there is nothing like playoff football in Texas.
That's correct.
Yeah. And you and I are Arkansas guys.
That's right.
We
That's right.
love Arkansas
That's right.
Razorback football,
That's right.
and we are Arkansas guys, but I can say that there's very few places that you can find. There are a few places in Arkansas that you can find this caliber of football, but it's all the way across the state in Texas.
Yeah.
You played in it. I mean, tell us a little bit about it.
I mean, it's playoff time. I mean, that's what that's what you want to do. Now, I know 4 teams go to the playoffs, but it hasn't always been that way. It used to be 1 team, and then it was 2 teams, 3 teams. In those days, it was fighting to get there. You wanted to get to the playoffs, and then in the state of Texas, you also are one of the only states that actually gets like a full another season in your playoffs. Some playoffs are only 2 games, some are 3 games, but in Texas, you got 5 games or maybe 6 games to win a state championship. And I mean, that's just a different type of feel. And I mean, towns shut down for playoffs around here. If you're from one of those football towns like here, and Friday night, there won't be a single light on over here in PG. And I mean, Saturday and then Friday, there won't be a single light over on in the TISD district. I mean, the football here is just a different breed, and we have a different caliber of athlete. When we go down and play the teams from Houston, we play the teams from the DFW area. Those guys leave those games beat up, man. They're bruised up. And these kids in Texarkana, I was one of them at one point. We play a different brand of football down here.
Yeah. And so, did you ever get to play in the Star?
I never played in the Star. I never made it to Jerry's
How
World.
cool is that? That in the state of Texas,
Yeah.
you pass the first round, you get to pick neutral sites. How cool is it that you get to go play in Jerry's World?
Yeah, we played Texas High played there. That was about 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, in the first round against Highland Park, and it was a shootout. Highland Park was undefeated, went on to win the state championship, 16-0, and we played them to 7 points. It was, I mean, it's just whoever had the ball last, and it was fun. That was a cool atmosphere.
Yeah. And so you got Texas High this Friday. They're playing in Lufkin.
Okay.
Abe Lincoln?
Yeah.
Abe Lincoln Stadium?
Abe, I can't remember.
It's in Lufkin.
It's in Lufkin.
We're not sure yet if it's going to be streamed live through Tiger Vision and Texarkana Game Day. We'll keep you posted on that as it comes in, and we'll let you know. PG playing in the Star against Glen Rose this week. So you still got some Texarkana teams battling out for a state title here in the state of Texas. And so we're going to talk tonight. We love PG, but tonight's all about Texas High.
That's right.
So we're going to take a short break here in just a second. We're going to come back. We've got a couple offensive and defensive players from the Texas High Tiger football team this year. They're going to come on here and talk about the past games and then what's coming in the this week and hopefully next week as well. So we are going to take a short break. We'll be right back here for more Wednesday football action at Walk-Ons.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Brian Bolt in Texarkana. And we're back live at Walk-Ons with the Texas High Takeover, and we got two good ones with us right here. We got two defensive-minded guys. Well, I say defensive. Some of them have played a little offense too.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen you out there in a while. But who knows? You see, you don't have the bionic arm on or anything, huh? All right. But we got Mr. Derek Brown, D. Brown, and got Michael Thomas, our D back. So we got D. Brown and D back. Welcome, fellas.
What's up?
Y'all ready for round two?
Yeah. I mean, we ready.
Ready.
Trying to beat this curse we got going.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about last week. Houston Fullshear coming to y'all's place. Y'all kind of come out and set dominance, especially defense, and we got defense up here. So talk a little bit about that game.
Honestly, about that game, we just had to come in and play it like we always do, and we just had to get 1% better, and that's what we're trying to work to this week.
Yeah, we knew we were gonna have to fit up the run game and make them put the ball in the air, and once we were doing that, they did make it a couple of good passes on us, but we stayed in the game, stayed focused, and knew we had to get done.
You know what I noticed about last week is early on in the year when someone would bust a big play, when someone would get a big passing play on us, maybe our DB was in a bad spot, or maybe he didn't have his head turned around. Yeah. It seemed like Houston Fullshear, when they did hit a big play, we played really, really good defense. Just sometimes, the ball bounces the other team's way. It's like a good pitcher throwing a good pitch. Sometimes that guy's going to hit it over the fence, and I think that's what they did. But I think, like you said, we knew that if we played our game, that we were going to be victorious.
Yeah, it's something we play ride defense. We bend what we don't break.
Yep.
Here we go. Hey, you guys being leaders of this defense, D. Brown, we hear your name all the time. Mike, we hear your name all the time. Coming in the screen, diving, catching interceptions. What are you guys telling the younger players on the team? Like, this is almost uncharted water for those guys. So what are you guys telling them? It's playoff season. We just talked about it. It's Texas football. What are y'all telling the younger guys to get them ready?
Honestly, I'm just telling the younger guys to pay attention at practice, make sure you doing what you got to do, and make sure you playing your assignment because, it's do or die time right now.
And you never know. Somebody who's in front of you, they get hurt, and next thing you know, you in the game. So you always got to be locked in practice and doing what you got to do.
You gotta practice like you're a starter.
There we go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, D. Brown is you're kind of the man that everybody talks about when they talk about this team, and you've got that role, and you've accepted that role really well. Talk a little bit about who had that role last year and what you learned from him.
Honestly, last year a lot of people probably thought Clayton had that role because he had the biggest name, but honestly, I actually learned a lot from JJ because he was the leader of the defense. When everybody went together.
Jackson Halter's who you're talking about, correct?
Yes, sir. When everybody went together, he got the team together. He got everybody head on straight, made sure everybody playing 100%, but not 50. Made sure we doing what we got to do. And I just thank him really for that.
Do you feel like you're that guy this year, or do you feel like there is that guy, or everybody's just kind of going along with everybody kind of accepts their role?
Yeah, everybody kind of accept their role. It's like, honestly, on the defense, it's not really one person who tell everybody what to do because everybody trying to get everybody to do. So we really got a leader-led defense.
And it seems like Texas High right now is coming back to where they got all their pieces together. It seems like this year we never really had everybody all together. There were people out, there were people hurt. Seems like we've kind of got everybody together and ready for a stretch run if that's what it takes.
Yeah, this game, I think we got this game we got everybody back.
Right back.
So I want to change directions just a little bit before we get you guys off of here. Tiger Stadium at Grim Park, crazy place to be.
Yeah.
Just played your last game there. What has that place meant to you? I mean, packed out stands for multiple years that you guys have been there. I mean, some great seasons that you've strung together. How did it feel? Because we were up in the press box.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't down there ringing the cowbell with Billy. I didn't get to be down there by the tunnel when y'all came out. I was always up in the glass watching y'all.
Yeah.
How did it feel being down there in that kind of atmosphere? Because not everybody gets to play in that kind of atmosphere.
I mean, honestly, it's the best feeling that you could think about. I mean, playing in a game that you love and having the whole town cheering you on, and you got your brothers playing with you. I mean, it's something that I'm always going to remember. And then plus coming from B team playing on that field and coming to where I am now, I mean, that field, it's going to always have a part of my heart.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
I only been playing on Friday nights for 2 years. I started junior year, and even now in that short time, it still had a big impact on my life. Like, before I started playing football, I was just a well-known basketball player, but now I feel like football has just like brought me closer to everybody else around me.
Now, since you mentioned it, I talked to Coach Skinner today, and he really, really wants you back and needs you back soon. But he said he would let Coach Stanford borrow you for about 5 more weeks if that's what it took.
Oh yeah, I told him. I said he told me he was ready for me to come back. I said I got to go win a state championship first.
I know that's right.
But we're gonna take it game by game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Week by week.
This what do y'all know about Texas City?
Honestly, we know that they have 2 decent sophomore running backs, and they have a receiver. And honestly, we know that they play a good ball game. Honestly, because they 10-1, and they only lost to the team that we lost against last year.
That's right. That's
so,
right.
They got to be doing something right.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
You could tell that the offense they run and their whole playbook, they've just been doing it for years now, so they're good at what they do. So we know we just got to go get lined up and play our game.
Kind of what you expect when you get to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
If you do make it to the third round, it's going to be the same thing in the third round. I mean, you're going to be playing people that are talented every week. And Texas City's one of those teams. So
everybody gets better.
Yep. Well, guys, good luck. We appreciate y'all stopping by on Wednesday here at Walk-Ons, and we'll see you Friday night for sure.
Yep. Can't wait.
Lufkin 7:30.
We'll be right back with more Texas High players right after this.
Not long ago, Samantha had to raise her hand to leave the classroom. Just like that, she had to decide her future. She knew she wanted to go to college, but she wasn't ready to choose her major. So she enrolled at Texarkana College. At a fraction of the cost of a university, Samantha can start on her basics while she decides what she wants to do with her future. Start here at Texarkana College.
All right, we're back at Walk-Ons Live with some Texas High offensive players. Can't hear myself. Some offensive players this week. Really good game last week. We played Houston Fulshire. They came in, and what did y'all expect from them, and what did y'all get from them defensively, and how were you able to overcome that?
We expected them to do what they were supposed to, to not miss any tackles, to not bust any coverages, and that's what they pretty much did all night. They played good. It's just they couldn't stop Braylon, and the offensive line played great too. So,
what did you see, Braylon? What did you see as you were? Here's what I noticed about you. Is you stayed behind McCullough a lot, and that's a really good deal to do.
Yeah.
But there were a few times that they had two guys with you in a phone booth, and none of them touched you. I mean, some jump cuts that were just from up in the stands I saw were unbelievable.
Yes, sir. Well, we expected to see a lot of them trying to get us not able to run and just trying to stop and key on me and Brayson a lot and Blake, and basically just trying to put their best matchups on our best matchups and just having a good game.
What do y'all see? We're coming in to playing a Texas City team in the second round, and from all accounts, I hear it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out game, and a really talented Texas City team. Which I think it kind of mirrors our team. Our team's kind of a punch in the mouth too, and so Brayson, talk a little bit about a team that's not giving you any passes, or not allowing our passing game to get off. Does it bother you to hand it off to Braylon and watch him run?
no, it doesn't bother me at all. I know he might score every time he touches it. So. No, it doesn't bother me.
Braylon, what were you thinking last week as those yards just kept piling up?
What I was thinking, what was just mostly going on through my head, was executing, getting the job done, and just getting past the first round. I had a little issue before the game and stuff happened, so that's what made me just mad and go out there and do what I did.
I gotcha.
Well, I was up there in the box calling the game, and I was like, Braylon's supposed to run this one for me, and then he took off and he broke loose, and I was like, it's for me. Not really, but I knew you were doing it for me.
Yeah, that's right.
What's going through your head when you're carving up a defense like that?
Stuff like that, when I do stuff like that, I just take it as on. I just showing off my talent, and I just want a touchdown every time. I just want to go on and beat the record and show that I'm one of the best backs in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
You know what it looks like, Braylon, is it looks like over the course of this year you started running mad. Is when you get the ball, it looks like you believe you're the best one out there and no one can stop you. And I think that gives you an edge. And let me tell you something. Number 15 knew about it. Well, number 15 knew about
that
it.
Poor little freshman boy.
I was hollering at him after you ran over him, because he was looking at Coach Stanford, and he's like pointing at the other side, like, run it over to their side. But no, and here's the thing is, Brayson, what I've noticed about you, especially this year, is you gotten faster, you gotten more physical, is when they're taking that pass away, you'll take the ball and run too, and you've punished a few defenders on the other end too. I don't want to see you doing any of that. I don't want to see you get out of bounds I like when you get in the end zone, matter of fact. But talk a little bit about your dual threat this year.
Yeah, I think it's helped us quite a bit. It takes a guy away to where they can't necessarily blitz Braylon every time, and they have to kind of play a contained coverage to where they can't let me outside. I've noticed a few teams have done that, and it just kind of opens the box up a little bit and opens up some more stuff for us to do.
So what you're saying is they got to pick their poison.
Yeah.
You take one away, but you can't take both.
Yeah.
I had one of my best friends in high school. He was the quarterback, and he wasn't very fast. We're not talking about you. I'm not making that comparison, but he wasn't very fast, but man, he was such an effective runner. He would pull it and take off at any time, and get 20 yards at a time. What do you feel like? What makes you so effective? Because it's not like you're going out there with Braylon speed, but you're not slow, but what's made you come with this burst of all these rushing yards all of a sudden?
This offseason I worked pretty hard on just getting my body right and getting faster. I think that has a lot to do with it. And then also, as many yards as Braylon runs for every game, they have to game plan for him, and that opens it up for me to run too. So when they do crash down, I'm able to pull it and get out and get however much I can. And then the receivers have done a pretty good job of blocking downfield whenever I have to pull it. They're able to recognize it and see that kind of stuff too.
I know my favorite – go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
My favorite thing I've seen about you this season, I know we talk about Braylon, how you've progressed every game. For you, I know last year, I thought he's good, he's athletic, he's just a little timid. But this year you've come out, you got your chest out, you know what I mean? You're out there, causing plays. The one game you had the little mishap or whatever, but that comes with it. That comes with you standing tall and standing on what you believe and how you play, man, and I want to give you a shout out for that.
Thank you.
Back when I coached, you used to see kids that came in, or young men that came in their 10th, 11th grade year. Sooner or later, they kind of hit that spot where they drop that baby fat. And I said it on air, and I hope nobody heard me when I said it.
Whereas you and I have gained our baby fat over the
So you lose it at one part of life, and then
gain
you
it
get
back.
it back.
I got you.
But that's what I told people about you back during the first of the season. I look at a picture of you last year and look at a picture of this year, and you look like a man. Last year you still had a little bit of that baby fat on you.
Yeah.
Not that you were fat at all, but you can tell that you really toned up and trimmed up over the off season. And man, if I could just trim up and lose some of this, I might run like him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll move on. But what I wanted to ask both of y'all is y'all both had really good years last year, just like you've done this year. And we went to second round last year and played a team in Crosby who went and played for the state championship. And it seems like every time Texas High gets beat out in the playoffs, that team goes on and plays for the state championship. I want to know what you learned, or if you learned something in last year, if it was just a hunger that you got after being beat out, or if you say, hey, I learned from being there. Now we've been on that stage, and now it's time to go be that team that makes that run. From each of you.
I want to start off by saying, like, our experiences over the years of freshmen since our senior year now, we always just expected just to come out and had that tiger blood in our mouth, just to have that intense thing inside of us to just go out and play how we do now.
I think we definitely learned from it. We have to, once we get deeper in the playoffs, we can't come out flat on any of our drives. And then just guys like me and Braylon who played last year, we had a pretty good game against Crosby, just showing that we can beat someone like that. Who made it to the state championship, just gives us confidence.
And so y'all have that confidence. Are you able to take that into those guys that are playing right now that weren't in that game or didn't play a big role like y'all did in that game? Are you able to tell them, hey, and two, we're looking at Braylon. Braylon was injured, the second half of the year last year. Braylon, do you feel something that you want to prove, something that you feel good that we're now all healthy and want to show what we can do?
Yeah, it was always my plan coming into this year to just show that last year I ain't get to have all my games and stuff, that this year I can, and just do the things I'm doing now.
Yeah, and so I asked the last two guys on here, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I especially want you two to be able to answer this. Playing at Tiger Stadium. Of course, Billy's got the fireworks, the smoke, the different colored smoke. You got the flags that you run out with. I mean, you've got the the flags that spell out Texas that run through the end zone. You got the horn, the Buick horn,
Buick,
and you got the full stands every week. I mean, what has it meant to you knowing that last week was your last game to play there? What's it meant to you having the great careers that you did, looking back on that?
It's cool, Not a lot of places have the support we have. Not everyone has someone like Billy,
I've said that a lot of times.
who will go out and do anything for us. So we're just really fortunate and appreciative to be able to play in that setting.
Yeah. Are you going to get a T in the back of your head, too?
I thought about it. I'm not sure.
Hey, listen, don't do anything different than what y'all been doing, right? You let me get the T again, and y'all just go out and insert your will in the game, do exactly what you're coached to do, just like y'all have done. Talk a little bit about that. We've got all players on this week, but talk a little bit about coaches, not just this year, but over the years, who've made an impact on y'all's lives at Texas High and what they mean to you going forward?
All my coaches made a big impact on my life. They always strive and just push us to be great all the time and teach us lesson things that we just need in the later on lesson in life.
Yeah, like Braylon said, all of them have had a pretty big impact on us. Obviously, with me, Coach Toon and Coach Stanford, because I'm around them the most. And then I'd say Coach Hawk and Coach Jordan, they've had a pretty big impact too. So.
Well, guys, good luck this week.
That's right.
It's a battle of the Texas teams for the Texas playoff. We'll see who wins. I think I know who, but I it's up to y'all. It's up to y'all.
That's right.
But we're going to be cheering you on.
That's right.
And one thing I do know is Billy is going to get the T-touch stuff tomorrow because it's not looking very good right now. It's growing back in, but he's going to get it touched up just for y'all.
That's right, baby.
So if this is, which I don't think it will be, but if this is the last time that you get to come sit on this set and say something into the camera about this season or about your team or whatever, what do you want people to know?
Just thank everyone for supporting us and being there for us. And we got some more stuff to go get.
That's right.
I just want to say thank everybody that supported us all the way through our journeys and stuff, and that everybody that was on the team, we ain't done yet.
That's right.
Billy, tell them where they're at. Friday
night at Lufkin at Abe something Stadium.
Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln Stadium at 7:30. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll be there at 5:30 and get there early because we're gonna put on a show before the game.
Yep. Wear all your orange and come out and support your Tigers. And so, again, we don't know if we're going to have it live streamed on Tiger Vision or Texarkana Game Day. Stay tuned on Texarkana Game Day's Facebook page. We'll make sure that we let you know if it will be streamed there. We sure hope that it is. It will be streamed somewhere. We just don't know where yet.
And here's the thing: is it's not Texarkana Game Day or Tiger Vision's. Both of them want to stream it.
Right.
It's what UIL will allow, and so as of right now, we do not know if they're going to allow us to do it.
Yeah. So once you get in the playoffs, it's up to UIL. Who gets the streaming rights, and so we'll let you know as soon as we find out where we're going to be, and if we're going to be able to stream it. So guys, we wish you much of luck this week, next week, week after that, and after that, and after that. Hope that we ride this ride all the way with you to the state championship.
That's right.
And so for Nick Reed, these two studs right here from Texas High, Mr. Billy Lavender, why don't you send us out, Billy?
Go Tigers!